The loud beeping sound from the heart monitor pulls me out of the dark place I was sleeping in. At first, it feels like my eyelids are stuck together with glue, but I push them open anyway. The lights in the hospital room hurt my eyes, but when I blink a few times, I see my mother and my sister Callista standing right next to my bed. They are smiling like nothing is wrong. Their happy faces don't match the cold, scary hospital smell or the tubes stuck into my arm. "She's awake," Callista says loudly, her voice way higher than normal. But before I continue, hit the subscribe button and tell me where are you watching this from, and what time of day is it? She is wearing a shiny silk shirt I've never seen her wear before. Her hair is very bright and looks newly colored. Mom leans closer to me, and her strong perfume fills the whole room, almost too much to breathe. "How are you feeling, sweetheart?" she asks, touching the blankets near my arm. "The doctor said your food poisoning was very, very bad." I try to talk, but my throat feels dry and scratchy, like it's full of sand. I look at the whiteboard across the room. Written on it in bright marker are the words, 3 days unconscious. 3 whole days gone. And my wedding is supposed to happen in just 1 week. "Lucian," I whisper because I can barely speak. Mom and Callista look at each other in a way that makes my stomach twist. Something is wrong. Very wrong. "About the wedding," Mom begins, smoothing her fancy linen pants like she is trying to think of the right way to say something. "We canceled it. He wasn't right for you. But don't worry, we used the deposit money for something else." The heart monitor beside me starts beeping super fast, almost like it is scared too. I feel my heart pounding hard, like it might jump right out of my chest. "What?" I yell, but my voice is still weak and scratchy. Callista steps closer, smiling like she's talking about something fun. Her eyes shine too brightly. "We used your venue, your flowers, your photographer, everything, for my engagement party instead," she says proudly. The monitor shrieks loudly, loud enough that the nurse rushes into the room. Her face looks worried as she checks my chest and the machine. "You need to calm down," she tells me softly. Then she turns to my family. "You shouldn't give her upsetting news right now." Mom just waves her hand like she is waving away a fly. "This is a family business. She needs to know." The nurse frowns but leaves the room anyway. More memories start coming back to me all at once. I remember planning my wedding for 14 months. 14 months of saving money, trying to fit everything into my tiny budget. I remember staying up late every night making my own invitations because I couldn't afford to have someone print them. I remember the $20,000 loan I took out to pay for the final expenses. I remember how proud I felt when everything was finally paid for with all those non-refundable deposits. I remember showing Mom my simple wedding dress, the only one I could afford after paying for everything else. She had looked at it and frowned, like she didn't like it. "At least someone in this family is practical," she had said. Now, in the hospital room, everything around me spins like I'm on a roller coaster. I push myself up slowly. "What did you tell Lucian?" I ask. Callista shrugs and looks down at her shiny nails like she's bored. "We told him you were backing out, that you didn't want to get married anymore." My hand stops shaking. A strange calm feeling settles in my chest. It's the kind of calm you feel right before a storm. I reach for my phone on the table beside me. "It's gone." "Where's my phone?" I ask. "We took care of everything," Mom says sweetly. Her voice is warm, but it makes my skin feel icy. "Your phone kept ringing and ringing. We answered things for you. You had no right," I say. My voice is getting stronger now. "Romy, be reasonable," Callista says, sitting on the edge of my bed like she thinks I want her there. "You're creative. One day you'll understand. This was bigger than your little wedding." Her words hit me hard. Little wedding. But it wasn't little to me. It was the venue I loved but barely could afford. The photographer who liked my art and gave me a discount. The florist who helped me make something beautiful even though my budget was tiny. My brain starts doing math. Even in my shock, the numbers appear clearly. $80,000 in non-refundable deposits, plus the $20,000 loan, plus my relationship with Lucian, probably ruined forever. And something else hits me, something I always knew deep inside but never wanted to admit. My family has never really thought I mattered as much as Callista. I stare at them, my mom and sister, people who are supposed to care about me. But there is no sadness in their eyes, no guilt. They think I will get over it like I always do. They expect me to forgive them because that's what I've always done. But something inside me changes. Something becomes strong and sharp and different. "Get out," I whisper. Mom blinks. "What?" "Get out of my room," I say clearly. "Now!" The monitor screams again, and the nurse runs back in. She tells my family they need to leave. As they get pushed out, I close my eyes because the lights feel too bright. They took everything from me, but they also showed me the truth. And they showed me who I now need to become. When the hospital finally lets me go home, I hold the discharge papers in my shaky hands. They feel rough and scratchy like sandpaper. My body feels weak and tired, but inside me, something feels stronger than it ever has before. When I open the door to my apartment, the air feels old and still, like the whole place has been waiting quietly. My laptop sits on the coffee table where I left it before I got sick. I plug it in, my fingers trembling from anger and medicine. When the screen lights up, I almost gasp. 467 unread emails. I open my sent folder out of habit, and there I see them. Dozens of emails I never wrote. Emails sent to my venue. I have decided to give all arrangements to my sister's engagement party instead. Emails to my florist. Please send the flowers to my sister's celebration. Emails to my photographer. As discussed with my mother, please shift all services to my sister's event. My stomach twists. This wasn't a mistake. This was a plan. A secret, sneaky plan made while I was unconscious in the hospital. My phone vibrates. Mom gave it back to me only when I left the hospital. A message pops up. Lucian's name. I wish you had told me yourself instead of having your mother call. The message says. After 3 years together, I deserved that much. The room starts spinning again. I walk to my bedroom and open my closet. My wedding dress should be hanging there, covered in its protective bag. It's gone. They took that too. An hour later, the doorbell rings. When I open it, my mom, my dad, and Callista are standing there, all fake sad faces like actors in a bad play. They come inside and stand together while I sit down slowly. Mom pats my shoulder again. How are you feeling, sweetheart? She asks. Her voice lights a fire inside me. But before I can say anything, Callista steps forward. She lifts her left hand gently like she is showing off something special. And I freeze. Because sitting on her finger is my engagement ring. The simple, beautiful diamond Lucian saved for months to buy for me. I'm keeping it safe, she says, twisting it around like it belongs to her. Things have been so messy. I didn't want it to get lost. Dad clears his throat and stands up straighter, ready to explain everything like he always does. Aloan, we need to talk about the practical side of this situation, he says. Practical? I repeat. You were extremely sick, Dad says. The deposits would have been lost anyway. Callista's future father-in-law is a very important builder. This helps our entire family. How did you get into my email? I ask, my voice stronger than ever. Mom looks away. We used your emergency information at the hospital. The doctors needed someone to make decisions, and we are your family. I also showed Lucian some pictures, Callista adds casually. You and Dan at that birthday party last year. You two looked close. I just suggested maybe you were having doubts. The betrayal sinks deeper and deeper. Dad lifts his chin proudly. The Carson name means something now that Callista is joining the Whitaker family. Sometimes one person must sacrifice things for the good of everyone. Sacrifice. Like my wedding. My money. My business. My future. Do you understand what you've done? I ask. I open the calculator on my phone. $80,000 gone. Plus my $20,000 loan. Plus my clients may leave me forever because of their lies. Mom waves her hand like it is nothing. You're so good with money. You'll handle it. Callista also called some of your clients, Dad adds. She told them you were having a breakdown. My heart drops. Lucian blocked my number. I say. I tried calling him 17 times. Dad's voice turns firm. If you try to take legal action, it will ruin the family. Is that what you want? Mom sits closer. Her perfume fills my nose. After everything we've done for you, this is how you act. Before I can answer, my phone rings again. It's the wedding videographer, Aurelio. Aloan? I'm confused, he says. The venue staff said the engagement party was supposed to be your wedding. What's going on? I will explain everything. He sounds shocked, upset, unsure. When I hang up, my family is still standing there. Still expecting me to forgive them. Still expecting me to be quiet. Still expecting me to stay small. But they don't understand. I am not the same person I was before. Not anymore. As I look at everything that has happened, I feel a deep, heavy question growing inside me. I wonder if I should just accept what my family did to me. They keep saying, family helps family, like that makes it okay. But deep inside, I know they took something very important from me, my wedding. Should I just stay quiet like they want? Or should I fight to get back what was mine? Both choices feel scary. If I fight, Maybe my family will turn their backs on me forever. If I stay quiet, I let them step on me again. I ask myself, what do you do when the people who should protect you become the people who hurt you the most? The day that was supposed to be my wedding rehearsal arrives. Instead of being excited, I am just tired and sad. Then my phone makes a little ding. It's another Instagram tag by Callista, my sister. I know I shouldn't look. I know it will hurt. But my finger opens it anyway. The picture fills my whole screen. Callista and Theron are standing together, smiling like their lives are perfect. They hold glasses of bubbly champagne. And worst of all, they are standing in the exact place where Lucien and I were supposed to say our wedding vows. The soft orange sunset light shines on the pretty old chandelier I picked out myself. Callista's caption says, "When you know it's meant to be. Perfect timing. Engaged. Forever after." I feel like someone shoved me out of my own life. Then my phone buzzes again. Then again. Then again. So many messages appear from people we both know. "So sweet of you to give your sister your wedding plans. Why didn't you tell me you were having second thoughts? I can't believe you just stepped aside like that." I turn off the sound. I put my phone face down so I don't have to look at it. Suddenly the whole apartment feels too small, like the walls are squeezing in closer and closer around me. My chest feels tight. I can't breathe right. My mother's lies are spreading faster than I can stop them. Everyone believes her story, that I just decided not to get married and gifted everything to Callista. The next day, the landline phone rings, the one I keep only for work emergencies. I freeze when I hear my mom's voice on the answering machine. She sounds overly cheerful, like she wants anyone listening to think she is a perfect mother. "Eloan, sweetheart. Just checking on you. Everyone keeps saying how touched they are by your generosity. You stepped aside so Callista could have her moment. Such a beautiful thing. Call me when you can." I slam the phone back down, cutting her off mid-sentence. I don't want to hear it. I can't. 3 days later, I received a fancy-looking envelope in the mail. I know exactly what it is even before opening it. The paper feels expensive, like the kind I use for my design work. I open it slowly, even though my hands are shaking. Inside is the invitation to Callista's engagement celebration. My heart drops. They used my exact wedding design. The same colors. The same style. Even the custom monogram I created for my wedding, just changed so the letters match Callista and Theron instead of me and Lucien. On the same day, I got another letter, the loan bill. The $20,000 loan I took for my wedding. Still in my name. Still must be paid. That night, I spread all my bills and bank papers across the kitchen table. I use my calculator again and again. I try so many ways to fix the problem, but every time I end up with the same cold answer. I will be ruined unless I get back what they took. I start to feel buried under everything. I can't sleep. I feel like crying all the time. Work piles up because I missed days when I was in the hospital. One client says on the phone, "I heard you had a breakdown. Your sister told us." I hang up and write a long, careful email explaining the truth, that I had very bad food poisoning, that I was hospitalized. I don't mention the problem with my family. I don't want to sound messy or dramatic, but writing the email takes hours because I have to be so careful with every word. Later that Thursday night, another awful thing happens. I found out someone accessed my private design folder. All the ideas I had been saving, my special drawings, started showing up on social media. Callista's future mother-in-law posts them online, saying how creative Callista is. The napkin styles, the table designs, the color themes, they are all mine. I feel like my heart is falling down into my stomach. So I start writing everything down. I open a notebook and write times, dates, screenshots, emails. I created a timeline and titled it Wedding Theft. Writing everything helps. It feels like the first step toward getting my life back. My pain becomes evidence. A few days later, I got a call from Flora's Florals, the flower shop. "Eloan, this is Violet. Something strange is going on with your wedding flowers." I prepare myself to hear bad news again. "I know," I say softly. "They're using them for my sister." Then Violet goes quiet. "Your mother told me you were too sick to handle the details. She never mentioned all this." She sighs. "I've worked with families for 30 years. This doesn't feel right." "It isn't," I whisper. Violet's voice becomes gentle. "Listen, I saved some of the flowers your sister rejected. They're very pretty. If you want them, they're yours. Free. No charge. When I go to pick them up, a bunch of blush peonies, creamy white ranunculus, and blue thistle waits for me. Flowers that weren't shiny enough for Callista. Sometimes the most beautiful things are the ones others throw away, Violet says kindly as she hands them to me. A few days later, my mom invited me to dinner. She calls it family healing. She says it's time for everyone to support Callista. And she says the Whitakers will be there, Theron's family. I wear a simple black dress. Not a sad dress, but one that feels strong like armor. I walk into my parents' dining room. Theron stands when he sees me. His smile is kind. So glad you're feeling better, he says. Terrible timing. We sat. Dinner feels like walking on sharp rocks. Everyone talks politely but in a fake way. My mom tells stories about Callista's engagement celebration. Stories that are actually my wedding plans, while my dad nods proudly. I wait until I can't anymore. Finally Mom says, "Can't you just be happy for your sister? Why do you make everything about you?" The room falls quiet. "I'm not making this about me," I say. "You already did when you stole my wedding." Theron drops his fork. "What do you mean, stole?" Mom tries to stop me. "Eloan, sweetheart, you're still not well." But I keep talking. I was in the hospital with food poisoning. While I was asleep, my family canceled my wedding, told my fiancé I didn't want to marry him, and gave all my vendors and plans to Callista. Theron looks at Callista, confused and hurt. "Is this true?" Callista's face turns bright red. Her mouth opens but no words come out. The next morning, the videographer calls. "Eloan, I left some equipment recording by accident while I was setting up at the venue. Your old venue, I guess. Your mom and aunt didn't know they were being recorded." He pauses. "I have the footage. Your aunt said." Callista lifts up the family name. Eloan always aimed too small. More messages follow. The photographer writes to me. Then the venue manager. Each one says they are uncomfortable with what happened, and they will tell the truth. People I barely know are more honest than my own parents. One Wednesday night, I looked up lawyers who know about fraud and broken contracts. I started writing an email. But then my phone lights up. "It's Lucien. I'm hearing things that don't match what your mother told me," he says. "I need to tell you what really happened," I whisper. Later that night, right before bed, I got an email. It's from Theron Whitaker. Subject, request to meet privately. I answer. My hands are steady. 3 days later, we met in a quiet coffee shop. The morning sun shines through the windows. I place all my documents on the table, neat and organized. My hands don't shake anymore. "Thank you for meeting me," I say. I slid the venue contract to him. He reads it. Then the loan papers. Then the vendor messages. Each one hits him like a heavy drop of rain. "I thought your family gave this as a gift," Theron says softly. "That you didn't want to get married." "Nothing was given," I say. "Everything was taken." Then the bell above the door rings. I know without looking that it's Callista. Her strong perfume fills the room. "What's this?" she says loudly. "Talking about me behind my back." Theron stands up. "Callista, we need to talk about these contracts." Callista laughs a sharp laugh. She's jealous. She always tries to ruin things for me. A woman at the next table looks up. Her eyes widened. "Excuse me," she says to me. "Aren't you the patient from the hospital?" "Floor 3. My stomach twists. I nod slowly. "I was your night nurse," she says. And suddenly everything in the room gets even quieter. She turns to Theron and Callista with worried eyes. "I got really scared when your family took her phone while she was sleeping in the hospital," she says. "The way they opened her accounts. I almost called the police. But they kept telling me they had permission." Callista's face turns pale like paper. Theron steps away from her. It's not a big step, but it feels big. It feels like a step full of disappointment and anger. "You did what?" he says. His voice is quiet, the kind of dangerous quiet people use only when they're very, very angry inside. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone. "I'm calling my parents. They need to hear this right now." Callista grabs toward him. "Theron, please wait." But Theron just moves even farther away. He speaks softly into the phone. Callista stands completely still, like someone pressed a pause button on her. Her whole story, the one she built so carefully, is falling apart in front of her eyes. When Theron ends the call, he looks at me with a serious face. "My parents want to meet with you," he says. "Tomorrow evening, if you can come." I nod. Callista's face twists like she's trying very hard not to cry even while panicking. As Theron's parents ask for a meeting, my mind starts spinning. Should I take my family to court and make everything official? Or let the Whitakers help us talk it through? What is the right thing to do? Should I walk away from my family forever? Or try to hold them responsible while still leaving a small path open? That evening, my phone buzzed again, and again with messages from people supporting me. The videographer sends me a video recorded by accident during what should have been my wedding setup. The camera had been left on. In the recording, you can hear my mother's voice very clearly. Eloan would understand if she knew what was at stake, she says. The Whitakers can help our family so much. He sends a note too, explaining that he was tricked about why the wedding plans were changed and he feels bad for believing the lies. Then my phone rings again. It's Lucien. I met with your lawyer today, he says calmly. I told her everything your mother said to me. How they showed me old pictures of you with David to make me think you wanted to cancel the wedding. My throat feels tight like someone is squeezing it from the inside. Thank you, I say softly. I should have called you myself instead of letting them control the story. Then more messages come. The vendors, the florist, the photographer, the caterers, everyone, write a joint message explaining that my family pressured them, lied to them, told them I was too sick, and even used fake emails pretending to be me. My lawyer's message is short but very strong. With this evidence, we can prove fraud, theft, and defamation. Your case is extremely strong. Just before midnight, my phone rings again. This time it's my father. His voice sounds different. Not strong. Not loud. Just tired and unsure. What do you want to make this go away, Eloan? He asks. I stay silent. I let the question hang in the air. He tries again. People are talking, he says. Your mother's friends called her all day. People are asking what happened. I opened Callista's Instagram. Normally she posts tons of pictures and updates about her wedding plans. But today nothing. Not a single new post. The last post from my original wedding venue has lots of comments from people asking what really happened. Some are confused. Some are suspicious. Before bed, an email arrives from Theron. His family invited my parents and me to their home tomorrow to talk about how to fix the situation. The same message. The same request. Once again, I put my phone down and stare at the empty wall where my wedding calendar once hung. I feel something shift inside me. It isn't happiness. It isn't hope. It's something stronger. Something steady. The balance of power is changing. The next day, I arrived at the Whitakers' house. Their living room looks like a picture in a museum. Perfect cream furniture, shiny floors, pictures in silver frames, and not a single pillow out of place. Everything feels calm, clean, and under control. Theron's father sits straight, like a soldier in a chair. His mother sits beside him, watching carefully like a bird ready to fly. I sit across from them. My hands are steady even though my heart feels stormy. My family shows up 15 minutes late. Mom walks in wearing her nicest church outfit. Dad pulls at his shirt collar like he feels trapped in it. Callista comes in behind them. Her eyes are puffy from crying, but she lifts her chin like she wants to look confident. We have prepared a statement, Dad says. His hands shake as he unfolds a piece of paper. There were misunderstandings between our daughters, he reads. We were only helping our family in a difficult moment. The words feel empty, like a balloon with no air. Mom leans in, her pearl necklace glittering. Eloan, we always supported you, she says. Even when you chose that silly design career instead of the accounting degree we offered to pay for. I remember eating cheap ramen noodles night after night while paying for my own school. I remember how they refused to help. My jaw tightens because of the lie. Callista sighs loudly. I'm sorry you feel hurt, she says, but everything turned out fine. Theron and I needed a proper celebration. And you were too sick to use what you planned. Dad adds quickly, family loyalty matters. Respectable families keep their problems private. Theron's father lifts one eyebrow just a little. It's small, but it feels like thunder. Mom leans closer and whispers, if you take us to court, you will be cut off forever. No holidays. No cousins. No support. Nothing. The threat floats in the air like heavy smoke. I breathe in deeply and place my leather portfolio on the table. The room gets quiet. Super quiet. Like the whole house is holding its breath. I'd like to share some information, I say calmly. I take a small speaker from my bag and set it beside my papers. I press one button. My mother's and aunt's voices fill the room. This is for the best. Callista makes the family look better. Eloan always aimed small. Her wedding would have been embarrassing. Mom's face goes pale. I stopped the recording. The videographer's camera was left on during the wedding setup, I explained. He was upset by what he heard. Then I lay out printed emails showing Mom pretending to be me. I show bank papers proving the wedding loan I took was secretly used to pay for Callista's wedding. I show messages where vendors were lied to and tricked. There are 23 fake transactions, I say, pointing to highlighted numbers. And that doesn't include the times you entered my email and vendor accounts while I was unconscious in the hospital. Theron's father leans forward and slowly reads each page. His jaw tightens more and more. This is not helping the family, he says at last. This is stealing. And lying. Callista bursts into loud crying. Mom hugs her. Neither of them even looks at me. I'm not here for their approval anymore, I say. I just want what's right. The room feels full of stormy energy. Mr. Whitaker stands and fixes his sleeves. You have two choices, he tells my family. 1, pay back everything. The $80,000 in deposits, the loan interest, money for emotional damage, and give a public apology saying Aloan did nothing wrong. Or 2, we go to court, and everyone will hear everything. Callista's crying becomes screaming. You're ruining everything. This was supposed to be my moment. People were finally noticing me. Mom pats her shoulder. Don't worry. We'll fix this, she says. Still not looking at me. 30 years of being the forgotten daughter should hurt. But right now, I don't feel pain. I only feel clear. Then Mrs. Whitaker does something surprising. She stands up, walks to me, and puts her hand gently on my shoulder. In our family, she says, we value honesty more than comfort. Dad finally looks at me. Really looks at me. We made a terrible mistake, he says. We will pay everything back. He signs the agreement from the lawyer. The full $80,000 plus interest and damages. Callista's false wedding photos will be removed by tomorrow. I don't feel victory. I feel tired. Deep bone-level tired. Some things can be repaired. Some things can't. As the meeting ends, Mrs. Whitaker walks me to the door. Through the glass, I see Lucian standing in the golden afternoon light. His hands are in his pockets. He looks nervous but supportive. Theron invited him to hear the truth. I pause at the doorway. I wonder if second chances can grow on broken ground. Deep inside, I know the answer. A whole year passes. Morning sunlight fills my apartment in Portland. Golden squares shine on the floor. I walk across them with my warm coffee. My design papers are spread across my table. The place feels peaceful and mine. A soft notification sound comes from my laptop. Another client booking for my business, Second Bloom. I help women reclaim important life moments that were stolen or ruined by others. The strange thing is, my mom and Callista never thought their actions would help me start a successful business. I look at a framed message on my wall. It's from Evadne, one of my first clients. Her in-laws canceled her husband's memorial service without asking her. She wrote, "You helped me rebuild what I thought was forever broken." I helped her create a new memorial that honored her husband even better than the original plan. The mail arrives. Among the letters is a fancy cream envelope addressed in familiar handwriting. It's my cousin Sorrel's wedding invitation, my first family contact in months. Inside is a small handwritten note. I know what they did to you. I would love for you to come, but I understand if it's too hard. I place the invitation on my table. I don't say yes. I don't say no. I choose to wait and decide based on what I want. That feels like a victory. At 7 in the evening, the doorbell rings. My friends arrive with dishes of food and bottles of wine. We're celebrating the anniversary of what would have been my wedding day. But instead of sadness, tonight is full of laughter. Odell, the florist who first noticed something was wrong, strings fairy lights across my balcony garden. The garden looks magical. Tom, the videographer whose recording proved the truth, sets up a speaker. Fenric, the photographer, arranges snacks on the table. These vendors became friends because they refused to join the lies. Lucian arrives last. He looks calmer than during our engagement. After everything happened, we tried dating again, but some things can't go back. Our friendship is good enough, and maybe even better. He raises a glass. Here's to good boundaries and to second chances that heal instead of hurt. The next day, I sat in a radio studio. I put on headphones. A producer counts down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today on the Stories We Reclaim, we talk to Aloan Carson, the host says. Her family hurt her deeply, but she turned her pain into a business helping others heal. And a publisher wants her to write a book. I smile. Yes. It still feels unbelievable. I say. The book will help people recover from family betrayal without losing themselves. The host asks. Many people listening want to know, have you forgiven your family? I think about it carefully. Forgiving, I say, doesn't mean letting harmful people stay in your life. I let go of the anger, but I keep the boundaries they made necessary. After the interview, I walk through a peaceful Japanese garden. I stop when I see a tiny purple flower growing through a crack in a stone wall. something beautiful growing from something broken. I bend down and take a picture. I wonder to myself, do you have to forget the past to heal? Or can healing mean remembering the past, but not letting it control your future? Maybe real healing is when the past becomes part of your story, but not the ruler of your life. And then I think of you, the person reading this, and I ask, what moments in your life have you taken back from people who tried to steal them?